The first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about what stamp sets and dies I think will work really, really well with this particular quick cut one sheet wonder. So the stamp sets and dies that I'm going to be working with are the Painted Labels dies and the Peaceful Moments stamp set. And this is not a bundle in the current catalog, but it is one that I think works together really well. And why I love these dies is that there's a variety of different sizes of shapes. So I can stamp words in the middle of these shapes. So in this class, we're mostly working with shapes and words, and then we're using a few accent pieces. So this one would be an accent piece, these two, as well as this one. So a mix of accent pieces and different sizes of labels are what I really am looking for in my dies. And then in my words, I'm looking for quite a variety of different words. I'm looking for some long ones. I'm looking for some that are smaller and more compact, some bigger ones. I always love stamp sets that have a mix of plain lettering and then brush font. So let me show you a couple more. The stitched all around stamps and the stitched labels dies are great too because they have quite a few different sizes of labels. They don't have as many die cuts that are detailed, but there's lots of interest in the stitching. Plus this here is one that you can put on the back of your card or the card front if you wanted. So I do like those for shapes and for the detail on the stitching. And then there's quite a variety of different words, both larger and then quite small ones too. And it has one, it's not quite as long, and you'll see why we need long when we get to the cards, but this one will work just great. So that's another one. Another one out of the older catalog, this one may be more for Christmas, but it doesn't have to be Christmas, is the First Frost and the Frosted Bouquet dies. And so this one has a label in it, and it also has a detailed, and this one would be detailed too. And it's got a mix of different sayings, and the stamps are ones that have framelets. So they have dies that go around the shape. So you could cut those out. So I like that kind of one as well. Certainly can always pull out your ovals, your circles, your rectangles. Any of the layering dies will work wonderfully for this. You just want to have a different variety of sizes and not too big because we need to have things that are going to fit onto that one piece of paper when we're done. I want to just show you one set of dies that I don't think that would work really, really well for this. And here's one, the Winter Woods, and the stamp set as well as the In the Woods dies. There are no labels here, so you would need to go into just cutting a piece of cardstock or using punches or using your circle or your oval dies. But what also is difficult with this one is that there really is only one saying, so you are going to have the same saying on each of your 4 designs. As well, the items, the stamps themselves are quite large, as are the dies. So they, for the most part, are large. There's a couple smaller ones here, but they are fairly large. I first started with the Peaceful Poppies Designer Series paper, and these are in the 2020 January through June mini catalog. And there's lots of different colors on here, which is why I was drawn to them to begin with. But there are some papers in here that work better than others. And some of the ones that work really well are the ones where they have shapes, where you can still see a lot of the design in the piece. So we're going to be cutting pieces as small as 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So we want to be able to see a lot of the designs. There are some designs in here that don't work really well, however. One of them is this piece here, and this is the back side. So what I don't care for in this one is that you're not getting the same overall pattern. You've only got some shape. So if we were only using this piece, it might have an interesting design once we cut it down. But one, I don't want to waste this lovely piece of paper for what we are doing. And also on the back side, that's not a super interesting pattern to me. I think I can make better use of that using it for something else. The same with this one right here. The polka dots are fine. This is, I've got a larger piece here, but remember you're going to be cutting it down to 6 by 6. But what will also happen is these are almost too large of a pattern. You will still get a pattern, but for me it's not going to be as attractive. The one that I really did enjoy using here is the one that I'm going to show you in the cards that I make. So I use this piece of paper here, which has a small overall pattern and lots of variety in here and different colors. And although it's got a plainer background, the stripes and the sort of spritzed watercolor give it a little bit of interest, and you'll see that I use both of these in the cards. So pull out your stamps, pull out your papers, and find one that's going to work really well. They don't need to be a coordinated set, as in they were a bundle that came in the, or a suite that came in a current catalog or any catalog. It can just be your favorite paper. So let's get started.